Alrighty guys, welcome back. It's your host ID Jester. We're going to be looking and tearing the shrink wrap off of China's War. This is a game, part 13 of the Coin system, if you're familiar with Coin, and produced by GMT Games. It's also designed by Brian Train. China's War, 1937-1941. Let's open it up and see what you get inside the box. Do it. Alrighty, so first things first, we got to take this terrible shrink wrap off, get it out of here, and then we'll be able to actually see and read what's on the box. Maybe. There we go. Alright. As I mentioned, it is Coin volume number 13 already. And game designed by Brian Train, produced by GMT Games. Alright, there's a little information there. 16 and up, 1 to 4 players, 180 to 240 minutes. Solitaire suitability is 9 out of 9. Yay. Complexity is medium. Alright. That's fine with me. You got a single board, but we'll take a look at that when we open it up and see what's in here. Alright, so we have our rules of play. We'll go through those in a minute. We have the rules reference booklet. Sun Wukong card-based non-player. Okay. We have the playbook. Okay. We have the Nationalists. We have the Warlords faction. We have the Communist Party of China. And then, of course, we have Japan. This is a battle, a brutal, terrible battle between China and Japan. And, of course, China, with all of its different factions, the Warlords, the Communist Party, and the Nationalists, who wouldn't work together and play together nicely. So Japan was able to do a lot more than they could have if China would have, banded together. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of that. Then we have the Su Wukong non-player aid sheet. And let me go back to the website here. Here we go. Alright, so we got a non-player aid sheet, which is basically going to give you your different, this is what they do when they try this action, and this is, like a little priority. You go from the top to the bottom looking for priorities. And the golden rules. Okay. Event instructions based upon the player factions. If there's any kind of specific information. The propaganda round, when you go to the propaganda, check for victory, check for resources, support, redeploy, aid and commitment, and reset. And you can go through this every time, which is nice. Coin does come with mostly pre-rounded counters, and then for some reason GMT likes to throw a little curveball at us and also have little counters that we have to clip. I don't know why. Why? I think because they're trying to squeeze it all on one sheet. I understand that, but still a pain in the ass to have to clip all of these stupid little counters. And, mostly terror counters and support counters. On the back side is sabotage and oppose counters. So you probably don't need to do but a handful of these. You don't probably have to do all of these. You're not going to run into a situation where you're going to have that much terror. If you got that much terror on the board, you might as well quit because it's not looking good for you. All right, the map, which we'll look at here in a minute. Baggy Gate is officially over, thanks to me. We got our 4 6-sided dice, which are tiny compared to normal dice. Okay. Sure how I feel about that either. Yeah, bag of your different markers and okay. More of your military and police units. You got a set of regular cards, and then you have a AI set of tarot cards, depending on who you're playing against. You'll have the other 3 factions will have tarot cards. You'll flip them up. You'll basically go through and ask the question. Roll a d6 if it's less than or equal to the available policy or available police. And any Japan cube is in a province without terror. Yes, then you do this. No, flip the card over. So basically like a little spreadsheet. At least they're tarot sized cards, so that's good. And that's it. You get your insert. I'm not going to tear the cards apart right this minute. So I'm going to leave them in the little package. But they do, I mean, they look nice. They look like typical GMT cards, to be honest. I'm not very happy with their little tiny dice. Why are they have tiny dice? I might use these for other games, but I will probably not use these for this game. And you can see quite a bit of a different size there, but to each his own. I'm probably going to remove these dice and add my own version of dice. Let's open the map up and take a look at the map. Shall we? The playbook, the rules reference, we'll look at that in a minute. It looks like it's going to be a full-size board. I was kind of hoping it was a smaller size board, but it doesn't look that way. Looks like it's going to be a full-size. I'm going to zoom the camera out a little bit so everyone can kind of get a gist of what it looks like. Mostly zoomed out. Let's see if I can bend the camera up just a little bit farther. There you go. So you got a victory point track along the top. You got the Japan available forces. You got the nationalists over here. You have the warlords factions, and then you have the CPC forces. So 2 and 2, which is interesting because normally each one gets its own section of the map. Then you have very big provinces, which is nice. But I think it's I don't know, I haven't played this, but it seems like it's a little bit overkill to have this huge board like this. It looks like they could have used a smaller board. I appreciate the bigger board with the bigger size locations, so you're going to be able to put lots of different units in there and stuff, and you're not jamming it all together. That is nice. Sequence of play. You got your eligible factions, your casualties, your out of play, your overflow boxes. Map key down here in the bottom left, which you guys can't see. This is rough This is rough terrain. Then you have terrain with population 1, population 2, population 0 over here in the corner, 1 over there, and 3 right there. You have your towns, your river, your railroads, and then your econ values for each of those as well. All right, good looking map. It's kind of plain, to be honest, but I mean, it's fine. It does what it probably should do, which is fine. General assault procedures. Event instructions. The non-player, yeah. And then your actions. Naturalists get to recruit, patrol, sweep, and assault. Special activities is govern, transport, and partisan activities. The warlords get to recruit, patrol, sweep, and assault. Special activities is to extort, suborn, and organize. These are very similar to a lot of the other coin games, so if you're familiar with that. Your playbook weighs in at 26 pages. Some designer notes. This is talks about the battle for China, what happens in the different years. Each of the cards has got a nice bibliography on it and information. And then you have your faction interactions, your pronunciation guide, and then probably an example of play, I would guess, which is, yes, China War tutorial. Okay. We have our solitaire here, which raised in at another 26 pages. Okay, like a pretty in-depth non-player example of play. Very nice. Your special activities that they're going to be doing, your operations, your references, and sequence of play. So, if you're going to be playing solo, you're going to be getting this out and reading this for sure. And then your rules of play, this is basically just overview of coin, your key terminologies, how to set up the map, the different scenarios, what the different units are, what you do during the propaganda round, victory, events, special activities, operations, your sequence of play, and your introduction. Very easy stuff there. And of course, your little sheet of counters. Punch in, counter, punch out, pre-rounded, most of them. Unfortunately, GMT, for whatever reason, are trying to keep their... they did that with the first game of the series, so now they're going to continue doing that forever and ever, probably, because it's like they want to be consistent with all of their games instead of making them better. Like pre-rounded counters. Yes, the other ones didn't have that, but you know what? The other ones didn't have an AI deck either. So if you're trying to expand and grow with the series as it grows and expands, but then you refuse to do things like, oh, hey, let's expand out and not have all of these stupid little counters. Maybe we should pre-round them like we do everything else. Anywho, that's my 2 cents on it. I would like to have Yeah. I would like to have it so that I don't have to counter clip them. That would be nice. That would be very nice, actually. There's not that many, thank God. But I spent like 2.5 hours counter clipping just Combat Commander the other night, and driving me crazy. China's War. China's War. There you go. 1937 and 1941. And yeah, at least you get a few bags to put things in, which is nice. You can separate all these into different bags, but I don't see a need to do that. These are all your pre-rounded counters. And those will have to get the clippers out. Alright, I hope Gene Billingsley watches this someday and can explain to me why we're still putting out counters from 1980. Still, this is 2025. I mean, like literally 2025. Why are we still doing things like we did in 1980? Why? Is there a reason? No, there is no reason. China's War, 1937, 1941. Thanks so much for watching. It's a pretty heavy, nice package, except for the counters and the generic map. I mean, again, this is the way they did the maps all the way back in Volume 1, 80 and Abyss. This basically looks like the 80 and Abyss map that you normally would turn up and down. They turned it sideways. It's 80 and Abyss all over again. So 1999 called, and they want their map back. China's War, 1937, 1941. If you're interested, pick it up, Volume 13. Thanks for watching. I think me and Cardboard Commander are going to try this out. He wants to learn coin. So, I might try to talk him into playing this on one of our episodes where we play together. So check out Cardboard Commander's channel and look for updates here or there on when we're going to get together and play this. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.